Today we're testing out the Insta360 Flow, which might just be the next must-have if you're a mobile phone creator. Insta360 Flow is a gimbal, but it's also a selfie stick and a tripod. It's tiny, it folds down, and it works with an app to add extra features to your phone shooting capabilities aside from stabilization like AI tracking or 360 images. Yes, this means you can shoot 360-degree images using your smartphone. Now, before we move on, let me be clear. I've never been a gimbal girl. I honestly like shooting with phones because they're so easy. With a tap of a button on your screen, you're good to go, and you get quick and easy shots. Working a gimbal has always been, to my mind, a little bit too complicated, and so I never actually bothered, but the Insta360 Flow promises a quick and easy way to level up your content, specifically your mobile phone content, and so we're testing it out in this video. Now, I'm not gonna lie, using accessories like this have always been, for me at least, it's always had a learning curve. But once I figured out how to sort of use this thing, everything came easier. So this clip goes on your phone, then attaches magnetically to the Flow. You can unfold and it balances the device automatically. Easy. I mean, after I fumbled with it the first few times, eventually I did get the hang of it and it was easy. The handle pulls out at the bottom, though honestly, because I have such tiny hands, even without pulling down the handle, it seemed like the perfect size for me to hold on to and reach the buttons. But if you have bigger hands, then this might be a more comfortable fit. You can bend the neck here and then extend for selfie stick action, or you can pull out the legs and you can stand up the phone by itself. And this little tripod situation is my favorite way to use the Insta360 Flow. There's also a slot here you can clip your mic on if you want to connect a mic to your phone and level up your audio as well. And there are two USB ports on this, one for charging the Flow and this other one for charging the phone as you use it with the Flow. Anything you need to be tapping on your phone to control your phone as you shoot, you can actually control through the gimbal. So first off, you have this joystick at the bottom, and this allows you to control the direction of your phone. And then you have the record button here, you have the power button, and then you have the switch button. Now this does a couple of things. For example, if I press once, it switches between the cameras. If I press twice, it switches the orientation of the phone. If I press 3 times, it switches between the photo and the video modes. And then let's switch to the rear cameras. You can also zoom in and zoom out using this dial on the side. And then on the back, there is a trigger, and one press turns on tracking immediately. So as you can see, the phone is now tracking me. One press of that trigger and it turns off. Pressing the trigger twice recenters the phone, and 3 presses basically flips the phone so that you'll be able to use the rear cameras for the video you're shooting. This whole area is also touchscreen, so this is how you switch between modes. So we were in auto mode, this is the follow mode, pan follow mode, and the FPV mode. This is a 3-axis gimbal, which means that you can get really smooth footage. That means there are 3 moving points on this thing. There are also different modes you can use this gimbal on, though as a beginner gimbal girl, I've been using auto, which I have to say was a really easy way to get people who have no clue how to use a gimbal to start using this gimbal. You also have a follow mode, a pan follow mode, a first person view mode. Actually, I'm not sure. It says FPV and I assumed it's a first person view mode. But yeah, you gimbal people can answer what FPV actually stands for down in the comment section below. Keeping the gimbal is as easy as opening, fold, then remove the phone. And I have to say, folded, this thing is pretty tiny for a gimbal. But unlike Tom, who can fit his folded Insta360 Flow in his pants pockets, it's still way too big to fit in my tiny pants pockets. The Flow works in tandem with the Insta360 app, and once unfolded, it automatically prompts to connect your phone. People, here is where the fun stuff happens. You get extra features like Pano Photo, which allow you to shoot 3x3 photos, 180-degree photos, 240-degree photos, and like I said, 360-degree photos. And it's pretty cool because, I mean, one, you can shoot 360-degree photos using your phone, but also two, the Insta360 app allows you to do like fun edits with these 360-degree photos. And I mean, the Insta360 Flow is probably one of the only few devices, phone accessory, that allows you to shoot 360-degree photos on your phone. But I will say it's not as seamless as it seems. At least not on iPhone. On my iPhone, this worked perfectly, but I did try to do the 360-degree photo on the Samsung S23 Ultra, which a lot of samples on this video have been shot with, and I just couldn't get it to work. It did give me the option to shoot 360 photos, but it just never did. And I tried. I double-checked the weight capacity for phones for the Insta360 Flow, and the Insta360 Flow can take 300 grams. The S23 Ultra is 240, so it's perfectly well in that range. So I don't know if it's the size, the weight, the bulk of the phone, but there's something about the S23 Ultra that just wasn't jiving with this feature. I never did get to do the 360 photo on any other phone than the iPhone, although I will say that every other feature that I tested out with the S23 Ultra and the Insta360 Flow worked perfectly. I even tested out this gimbal on the Redmi Note 12 and the Oppo Find N2 Flip. Both of those phones can be used with Insta360 Flow, but both of those phones also did not present the option, not even the little like button, to do the 360-degree shooting. So, bottom line is, if you want to do that 360-degree thing, use this gimbal with an iPhone. And as it turns out, it's not just an iPhone thing, it's literally, there are iPhone models that has it. So I was on the 14 Plus and it had the 360-degree thing. This is the iPhone 12 mini and I can't do it on here. It's not, the option isn't here. I can't do the 360 or the pano stuff. Nevertheless, it's a cool feature, and once you get it to work, again, pretty interesting output. You can also do time-lapse videos or time shift videos, which are way different from time-lapse in that they're designed to be sort of like a time-lapse where you move around. I love this feature and everything looks great on it. It's such a great feature and very handy for vlogs and stuff like that. Then there's a dolly zoom, which is supposed to give you that very cinematic vertigo effect, and I did try it. This is very cool if you do perfect how to do it. I gotta be honest, it did take me a couple of tries before I finally got a decent clip. But again, the fact that like I'm a gimbal noob and I was able to do like these cool effects on these clips, that's, I'd say, a big deal. You also get a cinematic widescreen mode on here. There's also a live mode, which honestly another cool thing because it allows you to live stream using the Insta360 Link app, including tracking features. So this gimbal with a phone attached to it on live mode sort of gives you the same functionality you'd get as if you were using the Insta360 Link webcam, which is their 4K gimbal webcam. If you don't know what that is, I have a video, I'll link it up here and down below. But yeah, super useful extra feature. And then there's a hoop mode, which I didn't even try because I don't do basketball, friends, so there. On the app, you can also adjust camera settings, so you can tweak it more than you'd be able to tweak your phone camera. And then there's gestures. You can actually program your Insta360 Flow to start shooting when you do this gesture. Or if you want to use the better rear cam on your phone but still want that tracking capability, it also allows you to do that gesture and your phone starts shooting with a follow mode. Do the same gesture and it stops. This is, as someone who shoots her own video, this is honestly an awesome feature that I love. Also on the app, you can switch around different camera settings, and I especially love that there's a little icon that shows you the battery on not just your gimbal but also your phone. So the Insta360 Flow is a very nifty device, and it does so much. But a few things to note if you're looking to getting this gimbal is, number one, it will only still shoot as good as your phone cameras can. So for example, on the iPhone, it can shoot 4K using the rear cameras and the front-facing camera, so it's able to shoot in 4K. But let's say you have a phone that doesn't do 4K front-facing camera, well then that's not gonna fix it. Number two, based on the hiccups that I had encountered trying to shoot 360-degree photos, I will say that this thing is still better optimized for iPhones. If you're trying to pair it with an Android device, you may want to check first if it plays well with it. That being said though, I still really did enjoy shooting with this thing. I see how it can develop your phone camera content. And the thing is, gimbals are usually devices that we only really rely on for stabilization. And if it's just stabilization while you're shooting with a smartphone, I'm not really sold on that whole idea. But the Insta360 Flow gives you so much more than stabilization. Tiny form factor, all the additional cool features, plus the fact that it was such an easy thing to learn how to use, even for a beginner like me. Definitely something I can recommend to people looking for something to level up their phone content. That's it for today. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your thoughts are on this device. Comment down below all details that I have on pricing and availability. I'll also add in the description box below. If you want to see how I use my tech on a daily basis, find me online. That's IsaDoes_ on Instagram, Twitter, and on TikTok. Until next time.